That is the heaviest defeat West Ham have suffered at home since the 1960s. All of the reaction is coming next right here on West Ham Unofficial. And trust me when I say I'm not going to hold back. We're coming next. Phil, I'm going to come to you first because I've got plenty to say in a minute. So, I'm just going to let you start.
Basically sums it all up, me not saying nothing at all. That's it, really. I don't know. I'll try and bring some sort of positive in it.
Oh, no.
I'll
Don't
try.
bother. Don't bother.
Nah, that's it then. It's once first goal went in and it all just fell apart and just kept crumbling down and down and down to the point this was just the second half. This was just on in the background. I was just busy doing other things.
So have I, yeah.
That was it.
An absolute shambles from start to finish. You know, we had a little bit of positivity pre-match of hopefully we can muster something and a slice of luck along the way to assist us. And do you know what? We've had some so I nearly said something very bad. And we've had some absolute crap over the last couple of years. You know, we've had some dire performances. Brighton away, Wolves away, Liverpool away, Fulham away. But that tops a lot. That absolutely tops the lot because that was a shambles. And you know, words don't even describe it because of how poor that was. As soon, do you know what the first goal was like? Oh, all right, frustrating. As soon as that second goal went in, and it was a knock-on effect from the first goal, we never ever recover from it. We never ever recover from that first goal going in. Our heads dropped, and we completely lost the plot. They could have been 5-6 up at half-time. Saka missed 2 brilliant chances before he converted that penalty. There was a header, there was a chip that just went narrowly wide as well, and it was just an utter embarrassment. It summed it all up by Rice scoring as well. Brilliant goal, and some of the fans decided to clap him, which I thought was a bit bizarre, to be honest with you, after he just scored and we were 6-0 down. It was just an utter shambles. Words don't even cover it. I'm trying to muster the words to sort of describe it, Phil. But one thing I will say is fair play to anyone that stayed in there to the end, because believe me, I wouldn't have done.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they was doing the outside shots before the end of the first half. Before half time, they're all flooding back to Stratford Station. Anyone who's going to Stratford International Station, going to Ebbsfleet and Gravesend or wherever, they'd be back in time to watch the rest of that second half if they had to. It was that bad. It was. Yeah, you've got to take your hat off to anyone who has to stay for anything like that. So, yeah, honestly, there is. I've seen some really bad performances over the years as well. You know, it was before you were born as well, but you know, in recent years as well, even you know, a lot of the time where we played not such great football over the last few years, but even when we lose, never as heavy as that.
No.
On the odd occasion, maybe a 4-0 here, or maybe even a 5-0 at worst, but at home as well. I mean, 4-0 at half time. I'll tell you what, this is me honest. Once the third goal went in, I just went downstairs, went to do some stuff around the house. I go towards the bottom of my stairs, I can hear some cheering from my TV. So I thought, if we pull one back, go upstairs. No, it's 4-0. Like, oh.
There's just, there is just no words to describe it. I'm angry, but I'm just deflated at the same time. I really are struggling to find the phrases to describe. Well, I have got the phrases in my head to describe it, but you know, I'm refraining for my YouTube's sake here.
Yeah, I'm old enough to say it, but you're not.
Exactly. But look, listen, we can smile about it because you know I was angry at half time. I really was, but I just smiled at it in the second half. I was like, this is just absolutely pathetic. Like, you can get yourself worked up, and I will later. I'll do a video later where I'll properly dissect it and sort of have a right go. But do you know what? Now I'm too tired after watching that and deflated to even go absolutely ballistic about it, because do you know what, we were resigned to defeat inside half an hour, and that was the pathetic nature about it. Yeah, I thought until they scored the first goal, I thought we were relatively comfortable, to be honest with you. The first goal went in, and I hate Alan Smith, but he was bang on. Heads dropped. The second goal went, heads dropped. Third guns, and we didn't respond from that moment on. That is not David Moyes' side. And some of them goals we can see today, some of that defending is absolutely pathetic. I've seen better defending at the local park than I saw today. I've defended Kurt Zuma to the hilt, but this calendar year he's been absolutely diabolical, and I'm going to put my hands up and say that now. He has been absolutely shocking. His legs are absolutely shot. He can't run, and he's being found out seriously now. Just absolutely diabolical. I don't think a Gerb was too much better, to be honest with you. Not one of those players. And, at least in some of these games, at Liverpool away, I thought Ben Johnson was okay. In some of these games, we've had one player that stood out and went, you know what, he did okay. Not one of them players can walk off that pitch today and say, do you know what, I thought I put in a decent shift. Completely ineffective. There were stages where we had 10, 15% possession of the ball. Was it at halftime? We'd have one touch in their box or something. It's just utterly harrowing stats. And do you know what? It's been coming for a while. This sort of annihilation has been coming for a while. And, they kept showing pictures of Moyes just before halftime looking bemused. I don't know why he's bemused, because this has been coming for a while. It didn't surprise me in the slightest. The manner and how many goals we conceded and our lack of responding to the goals going in, that surprised me. But the defeat on a whole, I didn't think it would be that bad, but it didn't surprise me, because that, I tell you what, has been coming for a long time, and Moyes is going to get absolute pelters tonight, and rightly so.
Oh, 100%. I don't know what it was like in the changing room at half time. I don't know what he said to him, but I can't imagine as much he's going to say now, to be honest with you. There's sometimes the less words you say in a situation like that is just as harmful, because they know full well, they didn't go out there, they didn't try, they just was dejected straight away. You're right about the analysis of Kurt Zouma as well. It seems like he is just deteriorating now, which is a shame. But he's, like you said, his legs are gone, and no one really, standing out. I don't know where to go from here. Now, we all know about, there's a lot of divided opinions about David Moyes, whether he should stay. Moyes in, Moyes out, and Moyes neutral. We've heard a lot, and contracts. And a performance like this, I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but it's not looking good in his favour.
They won't sack him. They won't. Not a chance will they sack him tonight.
No.
At half time, I tweeted, I've sat on the fence with Moyes for a while, but that just about finishes it off. Genuinely bewildered to why people are happily accepting 2 years of this utter dross. Thanks for Prague, Moyes, but it's time to go. And you know what? My position ain't changed in that sense. And I've been Moyes neutral for some time. I've had that sort of little sentiment in the back of my head thinking, I would like him to depart the club in the summer. But I'm just tired of it now. I'm fed up. I've had enough. And, with these there are some really good players in this squad, alongside some utter crap as well. Don't get me wrong. Let's not beat around the bush. There is some rubbish in this squad. But there are also some really good players who we're just not getting the potential out of, that we've seen in glimpses. And, we all know the players we're on about here. And I think fans are just fed up, and you see fans saying they're just not going to bother going home games anymore because it's a drag, it's tough, it's not enjoyable. It's becoming a chore, and when you're playing football like this in an industry that's supposed to be entertaining, it's just so draining. It's utterly draining, and you know what? Fans are coming to the end of their tether with it, and honestly, I can't blame them at all. Let's take some comments. See you joining us, Miss Hammer. Absolutely no words whatsoever.
100%.
Stick sick to the stomach. Sorry, yeah, just awful. Can't fault people for leaving. Absolutely not. No, I would have left. I would have left for sure. Lawrence says, "I don't know how I will be able to eat my pulled pork dinner after that performance." Well, maybe that's a bit of a distraction. Like Trev Chew, put you well, mate. He says, "As feared, went 1-0 down early, then faced wave after wave of attack. We have nothing up top to take the pressure off. We rely on a lucky break and scoring early. If that doesn't happen, we have nothing." We mentioned on the pre-match show how one-dimensional we are going forward, and believe it or not, our undoing this afternoon is what we thought could potentially give us a foothold in the game, and that was set pieces. It was blatantly obvious what they were going to do for free kicks, for corners. They're going to come in from a specific area, all of them. You can't miss them. They're in bright flipping yellow, for God's sake. They're like a bunch of highlighters just running into the box. And what have we got? We've got Souček on the front post. We've got 5 men. For one of the corners, I counted, we have 5 men marking air. And then you've got all of the Arsenal players running in. So they've got the run coming into the front post and the back post, and it worked, and we didn't respond to it. It's pathetic. Surely somebody has to have a football brain there and realise, hang on, they're going to do the same thing. Why don't we just drop a few man back and actually man mark them, because then they won't have to run on us like they are now, and they scored 2 goals from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're just replaying the 5th goal now, and just watching everyone's movements. No one's near him.
I don't even know which one the 5th goal was. Was that Odegaard? I don't know.
Saka.
Saka
cut in, and then no one around him, and yeah, I think obviously everyone's head was down at that point. And like I say, the second half was just something to have on in the background. I was having a phone call at the same time, talking about something completely off the topic, really, but that's it. It was like, oh, Arsenal scored again. That's what it was like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sharky says, beyond a joke, that absolutely fed up. Miss Hamlet's going for a walk down the beach. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Moyes out tonight. I just want him out. Yeah, I'm going to do a video a little bit later on discussing that, because I think, I'm in agreement, but yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, because do you know what? It's just devastating. And this is supposed to be an instant match reaction, and it very much is, because I think we're both lost for words. And to be honest with you, it's not even just the result; it's the manner of how those heads dropped after 1 goal today. There was no resilience, there was no fight, there was no passion, there was no desire. And do you know what? I don't blame any fan for leaving whenever they wanted to this afternoon and get home early and watch the 4:30 game, because that's exactly what I would have done. And you know, we're getting pelters on Twitter for leaving at half-time, and if you're put in that position, I think most people would have left at half time. What's the point of sitting there? It's torture. It's absolute torture seeing your team just be schooled, against anybody, and let alone a London rival with some quite big sentiment on the game as well. It was just embarrassing, Phil. Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just nothing to say. I mean, I've never left. The earliest I've ever left a game is probably 85 minutes. That's the earliest I've ever left a game.
Yeah.
And if I was at the game today, I don't know if I'd have left at half time, but it would have been in my mind. But I gotta say, credit to the ones who did stay to, try and cheer them on.
Exactly. When you look at some of these performances, not just performances, results this season, if you look at 2 games in isolation just on their own, if you look at our away game at Fulham and you look at our home game against Arsenal, that is a collective 11-1 loss on aggregate. Against Fulham away and Arsenal at home, 11-1. Chuck in there a 5-1 loss to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup and various other disappointing results as well. They're coming far too often now. We haven't won a game in any competition since the 28th of December. We're now midway through February, for goodness sake, nearly. We are entering the midway stage of February. We haven't won a game for 2 months. I mean, what are we doing? honestly, we are standing still. And tell you what, it's a good job results are going our way currently in the league, because otherwise we'd be dropping like an absolute stone. Hammerhead says, I'm sorry, but the fan reaction at halftime should be enough for the board. They need to issue an apology and a refund to everyone. It's not just that, it's action. You know, I think most fans would sack off an apology and a refund if we were to make a change, a fundamental change in this football club, to give the fans a vision, to give the fans a direction, a plan. I dare say the word process or something, because at the moment it just seems like anything and everything chucked in together and hope it works, Phil.
I think, first and foremost, a refund would be one thing anyway, because it ain't cheap to go. I mean, especially it being Arsenal's, I know ticket prices would have gone up a lot more.
Category A game, 80 quid, 70, 80 quid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, for a decent seat as well. So, refund the fans, and then, there's got to be a lot of work done. You'd like to think, throughout this coming week in training, they've got to be twice as hard, twice as drilled, and hope this is just cut out any more sloppy mistakes and really go for it now. We're we're coming up to the final furlongs of the season now. We've got Europe coming up again soon. I think if
plenty left to fight for, and that wasn't a team that was fighting today. That was a team that had given up. And when you're 4 or 5-0 down, fair enough. I can understand it. But we were 1-0 down, and those heads had dropped, and we'd given up. That is what we cannot accept whatsoever. The game's done at 4 and 5-0, right? It's not fair enough. That was the wrong term to use to sort of drop your head and give up. But when you're 1-0 down, you give it a go, and we did anything but. This afternoon, Cornet sitting on the bench and Ben Johnson is playing at left wing. Moyes has got nothing left in him. I was actually an advocate for playing Ben Johnson in that sort of more advanced position. But when you've got the likes of Cornet and Ings who have played okay in recent weeks when they've actually got on the pitch, and they're just sat on the bench, and then we bring on Cresswell. Brilliant substitution that was, to bring on Cresswell for the impact that he was going to have on the. Exactly, Cresswell came on at 6-0.
Yeah,
what was that all about? What was
that? You might as well put Fabianski up front. It would have made no difference whatsoever.
Exactly. It would have been a laugh, wouldn't it? Would have brought something to it. I don't know how we rebound after a performance like that. I genuinely have no idea. Shall I thank you very much? Hit that like button if you haven't already. Everyone apart from maybe Emerson and Johnson is out of form. I think that's fair enough. But it's just dreadful. He had to score a screamer as well. He didn't celebrate it, but I don't. But I can't back the clapping. To be honest with you, at 6-0 down, he's just scored a screamer, and
that was a good goal.
It was a good goal.
It's classic Rice.
It was. But hey ho, it is what it is. The players were awful, and they deserve stick to. Absolutely, for sure. This is we need to take collective responsibility here. Everybody needs to take their slice of the flak, and let's not just take it and move on. Let's have some action. Let's do something about it, because this is happening far too often now. We're getting thumped, and before that we hadn't been thumped for a long time, and we're getting thumped consistently now. That's 3 times in the last 3 months we've been thumped. I mean, Liverpool and Arsenal are good size, but Fulham in there as well. Flipping Fulham. It's just not good enough. Not good enough whatsoever. Moyes in. He limited it down to 6. It could have been 12. It could have been double figures. Honestly, it could have been. Gary says, Moyes and Sullivan should get out of this club. Kudus, Bowen and Alvarez won't stay with this crap football. They won't. They won't at all. There's lots of anger boiling around the fan base, and rightly so. And I think, I think people have just got to let it out tonight. Let all the anger out, and then hopefully, with a bit of luck, we can have a bit of direction and a bit of reference to how we move on from this, and some sort of response next weekend away from home at Nottingham Forest. Some final comments before we go. Apache says the writing was on the wall when we couldn't hear Bristol City couldn't be Bristol City into it. Exactly. A draw to Brighton, fair enough, decent result. Couldn't beat Bristol City over 2 legs, not good enough. Couldn't beat Sheffield United, not good enough. And that today, and there's other results in there as well that I'm missing out. And that today, Bournemouth, couldn't beat Bournemouth, and that was a really, really poor performance as well. We've been getting the odd point from draws, but we haven't won since December. I mean, come on, we haven't won since December. We're in February. Oh,
springtime soon.
Exactly. All right, Phil, round it up, mate.
Useless. That's it.
Yeah, that sums it up. Useless. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching. I don't think I've ever been so deflated and depleted on an instant match reaction. To be honest, I'll have a more in depth and a more sort of composed reflection on this a little bit later on or tomorrow to try and make some sense out of this. But the only positive I'm taking, Phil, is I ain't got to go to school tomorrow and hear the flack about it. It's half term. That's the only positive. That is honestly the only positive. I might just throw my phone out the window, to be honest, because I'm getting lots of messages that I quite frankly don't want to read. But Phil, as always, come on your irons. Thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you soon. We're here on West Ham Unofficial. Keep the faith, brilliant. Keep the faith. Jesus Christ. See you soon. Bye bye.
See you.